Call to order the city council meeting. I'd like everybody to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Clistic.
Here.
Kenny.
Here.
Sullivan.
Here.
Belzak. Gustafson.
Here.
Vaughn. 5 present and 2 absent.
We have a quorum. That takes us to questions, comments, and announcements. Several years ago, we added this to our agenda. This allows people from the audience to come before the city council, present something for 3 minutes that is not on our agenda. It might be a concern or an issue that they have. Would anyone in the audience like to address the city council on anything that's not on our agenda tonight? If not, then the approval of the minutes for May 6, 2019. Motion to approve, Alderman Kenny, second by Alderman Shower. Questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Abstain.
Sullivan.
Abstain.
I have 3 ayes, 2 absent, and 2 abstentions.
Receiving of communications. Any of the aldermen have communications for the city council? Okay.
Thanks, Mayor. I received 2 communications this past week. First one is from Mr. Tom Yarber, 609 Chippewa. He's had some major flooding in his yard, so I'll reach out to Mr. Gombach and let him be aware of our program, of our rear ditch project program, and maybe if the city can just stop by, take a look. It's a unique property in that he's at the highest peak on Sawyer and Chippewa, but yet he's getting all the flooding, so I believe it's just not sloped correctly. So that's the first communication. And the second communication I received wanted to stay anonymous, but mentioned they have a concern with regards to fires at night. How late is a resident able to have a campfire or fire in the backyard? Is it 10 p.m.?
We have that stipulated by ordinance. don't
By
we, Dan?
ordinance, correct.
I'm not sure about the hours specifically, but they're supposed to be contained in what's referred to as a fire pit / fireplace. So
They can-
again, with the hours, yeah, I'd have to double check on the hours. I'm not sure if hours
We
are.
can check the ordinance, but if it's a loud party over a bonfire, that's a different issue than
Okay.
just a bonfire, which I'm assuming that maybe got a little loud.
No, it's actually the concern is that the resident has allergies, I guess, and so the smoke comes into her house and she wants to open her windows at night. And I guess I think you can keep the fire till midnight, the ordinance. I'm not sure 100%. We'd have to verify that.
We
But
dealt with that a number of years ago. We had disputes between neighbors over fire pits, and I think we spent, on municipal services, we spent a significant amount of time developing the ordinance that would address that, so we probably need to take a look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it wasn't no loud music, and she was fine with the fire pit, just how late it was. So if we could just review it and just see where the city stands on it. So
You want us
that's
to
all.
get back to you on it, follow up with you since you're not. the rest
Yeah,
of
just
it's
to
anonymous?
confirm, correct. Yeah, just to confirm what the times are, and I think it's on the weekends or a little longer than during the weekday. So
Okay.
Anyone
all.
else have correspondence?
Yeah, I received one communication from Kathy Paskvan in the 2000 block of Green Valley Road regarding the vehicle speeding on Manning Road. And currently there are 4 speed monitors on Manning Road, and I reached out to Dan and Greg to ascertain if we could pull historical data off of those devices, and Dan's team, I think, determined that we can pull that. So I think that's something that we should look into, to be able to pull that data, identify where we do have speeding issues and stuff, so we can pass that information on to Greg and his team.
Correct.
No,
if I'm-
Eric, I was part of all those emails that were going back and forth, and the reason I was paying attention is there's residents in my subdivision who are also concerned about speeding in our area. And what I found interesting about that is you have one of those speed monitors eastbound and you have one westbound, and yet I believe the chief said in his report that they've still given something like 40 tickets for speeding in that area. So it doesn't appear as if people driving past those and looking at their speed limit is really deterring. Maybe it deters them when they're going past the monitor, but it doesn't seem to be deterring them after they pass the monitor. Because I was even thinking of asking Dan if we could put one in our subdivision just to allay some of the concerns some of the residents in my neighborhood have regarding speeding, and yet it doesn't seem like they have a significant impact on deterring speeders.
You know, originally when we proposed this, there was studies out there that indicated there was a reduced speeding, if you want to say. At the same time, I know that we're going to pull, if one were able to pull this report from all these flashers, speed limit flashers, we're going to compare it to a report that we did, a manual report that was done a couple of years ago to see what the differences were. Actually, we had several reports up and down Manning Road. And as a matter of fact, they're close to where the existing flashing signs are.
How do you disaggregate that data, Dan? How are you going to look at it and take it and make it meaningful?
I'm not sure yet. We've never done this with this brand new equipment, so we know we have the capability to download it. What the report and the form will be in, I'm not sure of yet.
It would be similar to if we just took traffic counts. I mean, in theory, it should be similar. We'll get days,
I would
time,
presume
is
so,
what
yeah.
we're hoping to get.
Right.
Well, we used to put the monitors in the street. This is the same kind of data, isn't it, Dan?
That's what I'm hoping it's going to be, correct, yes.
Because we did that in my subdivision. As you come around Creekside Lane, as it curves and you come up towards my end, people start accelerating as they come up, and we have children that play in that area there, and there's people that are concerned about that speed. But when we did the speed study several years ago, there was no justification for a sign or anything.
Correct.
It may, the traffic count is just that air no thing on the floor or on the ground, right?
The one that we
So
have
it's just a
is
count.
all, it's a visual one.
On the signs, we don't know what's available yet because we haven't seen it. It may be that they have speed attached to the time and day and those type of things. So we'll see what it has available, see what kind of format it is. I'm guessing it's going to be available in some type of flat format, either CVS or an Excel file or something. And then we'll just, I hate using the word, but I don't know what, I have to find one better. We'll manipulate the data to get it in the right columns, right rows, right data to direct police forces or any signage or anything else that needs to happen. But we have to see what the data looks like first.
How many of those devices do we have now?
I believe it's 10.
And where are they all being used now?
67th Street, Beller Drive, Manning Road, and that's the extent of it.
Can we move these things? They can be moved around, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, what's our justification for saying we're going to move one into this neighborhood? Is that because we've had a number of complaints by residents for speeding in that area, or
I know,
what?
for example, on Beller Road, when the former Alderman MacGyver was on city council, she's here this evening, but on Beller Road, we had introduced two for budget, and at this time, it's not warranted to put those back into the budget or request them. So the ones we have in place on Beller, I think are doing something. We haven't received any calls or complaints further about perceived speeding or speeding in general. 67th Street has been the same feedback, no additional feedback. Manning Road and Manning Road / Lyman seem to be the most discussion of topic.
Greg, when you guys massage that data, and let's say you see that on Tuesday afternoons or Saturday mornings that you have a higher number of people exceeding the speed limit, and you get that information, you could probably increase patrols and things like that at that point. Would it be valuable for us to take one of these machines and put them in another neighborhood, even for a week, and collect that data for a week or 2 weeks?
When that data comes back, we'll see what it has, but you're correct. Hour a day, day a week are two important items. One of the things that a lot of times you get complaints from public, they'll say they're speeding all the time. Well, that doesn't give us very much direction, so we'll put officers out there at various times and then it's, just luck of the draw that you're in the right place at the right time. I think the speed monitors are going to give us an opportunity, hopefully, depends on what data we get, to be at the right place at the right time and take the right enforcement action. So we'll have to wait and see what we're available.
Comment. And Dan, I think initially we had talked about this and where they're at now. Those roads, in theory, are all eligible for speed humps. I think because we do have a criteria. I think what has been helpful is this is a step. So if we put these up and that reduces the speed or any issues, that might help us decide on if it warrants a speed hump or not. So I think some of the roads we have are obviously the busier collector roads. I think was what we looked at.
I think 67th Street, there was while we could put a speed hump there, there was only one location because of the intersections, how much in proximity intersections were. On Manning Road, I'd have to double check that one. I think it exceeded the volume per day.
Yeah. But they're collectors. I mean, that's kind of
Correct.
where we've
They
had
are
them
collectors,
to
yes,
date.
yes.
And Chris is getting a price for and is there a cost for the software
We felt that it wasn't justified with the web-based service. This is the first request that we really have seen. So based on the information that we're able to download, if it's meaningful, there's no need to go further for a web-based subscription service. If there is, then we'll introduce it back into the workshop for later on this year.
Okay.
or contingency if it's minor enough. We can.
I think you're almost out of contingency at
We
this
haven't
point.
spent all the contingency money.
Would there be any value to taking a proactive approach and checking other neighborhoods that, we might not receive calls, but there's a possibility there could be speed in there, you're just not getting calls? Is there any way, would it be worth the time and effort in order to check citywide?
We could always do that. It's just a matter of what are we trying to accomplish, Don. I think, everything that we look at now is all driven based on any type of speeding concern. Currently, we have one on place on Warwick and Janet. That's the most recent one. So, and prior to that, we had another one. I don't recall it. I believe it was High Road, was it? I'd have to double check.
Not positive.
But, yeah, so basically we're taking them on resident-driven concerns. We seem to be doing at least one every quarter, if not two. But if there's some streets that you would recommend to canvass, we'd be more than happy to do that.
I'd be interested in seeing the data once you get the data and how you are able to disaggregate that data.
Because I know mine's
Very interesting.
I know my street itself is interesting in itself because you've got 3 blocks from Cass to Williams. There's unincorporated, and then you go from the unincorporated through, and that runs into McAdam and everything else. So it's not a total cut through, but yeah, there's definitely there's days there's cars going down there a heck of a lot more than 25 miles an hour.
And Holly?
Yeah.
And be more than happy to conduct a traffic survey, see what it comes back with. 'Cause the current equipment will give us the time, date, and place. So
That's where I live, I'll get caught.
So we'll schedule that, and within our next 2 weeks, as soon as we finish up this current survey,
Okay.
and we'll tell you. Is there a specific block that you're looking at?
I mean, I just happen to know from when I'm walking my dog and whatever the case may be, cars are flying. But like I said, you've got unincorporated to the east of me, and you've got city to the west. So, and it's not like it's a cut through because it's not like they can go from down Holly to Fairview. I mean, if they're going to do that cut, they're going to go down 71st or 73rd. But there's still some speeding going down.
So if we were to put the equipment in front of your residence and put an
Put it
approximate,
in front of hers.
No, I've got the curve by my house, so
Okay.
that doesn't
Yeah,
do
middle
it.
of the 1600 block of Holly wouldn't be bad at night. Wouldn't be
All
a
right.
bad idea.
I would do that.
Treasurer Corrin?
At the risk of incriminating myself, Chief, please close your ears to this one. As was mentioned, we have them on Beller Drive, which runs through my subdivision. And at first, I always was an offender. I still am an offender, not probably as much as I was before, but I think those lighted signs, they do call your attention a little more than a regular street sign, but I think you touched on it. I think by rotating them would have more of an effect, because if you move it from place to place, all of a sudden in the back of my mind, is there a squad stationed up ahead and catching me? Whereas once it's been there for a couple of years, I know it's just sort of lighting the way in the dark.
I mean, to be honest with you, Dan, I wouldn't mind one in our subdivision on Creekside Lane. I really wouldn't, as people are coming up around the curve. I like, even if you put it there for 2 weeks, just to collect the data to see what it measures and what information we can get from it. I'd like to be able to go back to people and say, there's not, as we know, speeding is a perception sometimes. When they were going up and was it Cherokee or 71st? Where do we put the speed humps? Cherokee. Because people had this perception that they were speeding, we put the speed humps in, people hated the speed humps. And we found out that a lot of the residents who were speeding were the people who actually lived on the street. But I'd like to know what that, when Greg massages the data, I like to find out what it's telling us, and if it's worth putting it in other places. I'd like to see us start using those that way.
Okay, and just so the council realizes, the signs that we purchased were specifically put there due to concerns that were ongoing concerns of some
I
speeding.
understand. I understand that, but I think it's summer. People are driving more. They're out more. The streets are cleaner, and they're going to be going a little faster than what they should.
And there's more kids on the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all going to get more complaints from people regarding speeding. Yeah. All right. Any other correspondence?
One other thing, it was just something that I identified personally when I was out campaigning, was the lack of visible home address lettering. I mean, there was quite a few homes out there where, frankly, you could not tell what house number it was. And I had them include something into Direct Connect and stuff on this, and I'm not sure if the police chief has run into this in the past, because there were just some homes I couldn't find the address on. And, the address numbers, there's the gaps between the homes, so it's not something that you can clearly identify, okay, where's this house, if it's not properly labeled.
Some years ago, they had some program where they had the curbs, where they had the numbers on the curbs. And this is probably about 10, 12 years ago.
Some volunteer organization actually went and painted the letters on the curb.
Yeah, because my job on a daily basis is to try to find homes sometimes, and sometimes I can't find them.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
Yeah.
Wrong.
I'm not sure.
You're correct, Alderman, that finding addresses are a pain. And people put them in different places.
Yep.
They put them, a white house with white lettering, they're very difficult to locate. So, in an emergency situation, when you need to find an address fast and you don't have the address, that's a bad thing.
Yep.
Anything else? Because I have two pieces of correspondence. I received a letter from Hinsdale South High School, and Hinsdale South High School addresses the increased trend of electronic cigarettes, the use among students. Their statistics indicate that between 2018 and 2019, their violations have gone from 32 first-time violations to 41. Their total violations went from 42 to 81. And they're asking the city to explore the idea of an ordinance that would result in a ticket to students. Hinsdale Central has an ordinance in that area, in the Hinsdale area. They're looking for consistency between the two high schools. They do note in here that the state law goes into effect in July, but they've said that we've been asked to achieve with Hinsdale Central an alignment, and this is something they're requesting, what they feel is an alignment. So I'm going to turn this over to the police committee to take a look at. I don't know if this will they would like something before the start of the 2019-2020 school year. I don't know if this is something.
Do we know if Willowbrook was CC'd on that? Because obviously Willowbrook is across the street.
This is, no, this was all the administrators, Lester Vaughn, Commander Piccoli.
So it's strictly Darien.
Yeah, strictly Darien. I received another piece of correspondence from a young lady who, our environmental committee will like this young lady. Her name is Natalie Casas. She's a senior at Downers Grove South High School, but she's a Darien resident. She said she voted for the first time this year. She was very excited to participate. She wants to get involved. And she said that she feels that we need to pay attention environmentally to garbage in our downtown area. She says in Clarendon Hills, their downtown area, they have trash cans deposits for recycling and waste products. You grab the handle, push the recyclable item or waste item in the hole. She says, I believe this would be a step forward in the right direction. We could put them by Starbucks and parks at the Sportsplex. She said I could email her back, but she didn't provide me with an email or a telephone number. So if you're listening, Natalie, please get a hold of us, and I'll respond to you. But I'm going to turn this over to the Environmental Committee, and that's my correspondence. Anyone else? With that, we go to the mayor's report. Item A is consideration of a motion to approve the reappointment of Frank Novarini to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners. Motion to approve, Alderman Shower. Seconded by Alderwoman Sullivan. Any discussion? None, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
Do we want to do these all together or individually?
The reappointments we could all do together,
Okay,
and then the new ones we could do all.
okay.
All right.
Item B, consideration of a motion to approve the reappointment of John M. Breslin to the Police Pension Board. Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Kenny. Any questions? If none, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
And I know John wasn't going to be here tonight. He indicated to me he had something. Consideration of a motion to approve the reappointment of Robert, I believe it's Burke, to the Environmental Committee. Motion to approve. Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Gustafson. Questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
Frank, you want to come forward? You're the only one who we get to swear in tonight.
Okay.
We'll have to take care of John and Robert at a different time.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Frank Novarini,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
I
States
will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Board of Fire and Police Commissioners
Board of Fire and Police Commission
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. And let me give you your new card. Congratulations.
Thanks, Frank.
We have some new appointments.
Hey, Tim.
Item D, consideration of a motion for the appointment of Sylvia MacGyver to the Environmental Committee. Motion to approve, Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Gustafson. Questions or comments? No questions or comments on this?
Why?
She didn't hear that. If none, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
Sylvia, would you like to come forward, please?
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Sylvia MacGyver,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Environmental Committee
Environmental Committee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. And if you can sign this for me, I'll give you your commission card. Thank you.
Glad you're still around.
Paycheck on this one.
Welcome back, man.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Great to have you back.
Welcome back.
Good night, Sylvia. I'm sure you're leaving now.
Right out the door. I don't have to stay for the whole meeting.
Item E, consideration of a motion to approve the appointments of Hilda Gonzalez and Julie E. Kasperwitz to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Motion to approve. Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Kenny. Questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Clistic,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
Hilda and Julie, you want to come forward, please? For those of you who didn't know, Hilda was on our environmental committee for, I believe, 2 years, Hilda?
Yes.
And she has sought the opportunity to move up to transfer to planning and zoning.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Planning and Zoning Commission to the best of my ability. Congratulations, and if you ladies could sign these cards. Congratulations, and I'll take this, and congratulations, Julie. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you for work. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Tonight, we have Jennifer Fabian here. She's the Executive Director of the People's Resource Center, and she'd like to address us tonight. Jennifer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. It is a real honor to speak with you tonight for just a few minutes. And I'm hoping to share some resources about People's Resource Center in case they may be helpful for your residents or neighbors who might be in need of some help or who might be looking for some volunteer opportunities. PRC, short for People's Resource Center, was founded here in DuPage County in Wheaton in 1975, and we were volunteer founded by a group of concerned folks who realized that people down the street didn't have enough food to feed their kids on a regular basis. And so they got together and got some food donated and talked with other folks, and that year they served 125 families out of a basement window with food, and realized they could make a difference, and the need was not something that just stopped there. 44 years later, we now have a full-service facility not only in Wheaton, but also just up the road in Westmont, so just a stone's throw from Darien, and we serve about 30,000 DuPage residents a year with a very small staff and about 2,600 volunteers. So we are here in your neighborhood. We would love to help meet needs of your residents and your neighbors, and also invite anyone who might be interested in volunteering with us to get to know us and come in for a visit and find out more about what we do. Most people come to us for food assistance, so folks can come to our food pantry, our clothing closet. We have a job search help program if people are trying to get back on their feet, and we see a lot of folks who have been unexpectedly hit with some kind of transition in their employment, and they didn't expect to be back looking for work, but here they are. We have folks who will help them search for a job, help them with interview preparation, help them get their resumes back together. Whatever it is that people need, we have volunteer job coaches that walk with them in that process. We also have computer classes, we have literacy classes, art programs. We realize that folks come to us in some of the toughest times in their lives, and our art programs have been a wonderful way to help deal with stress and help build some of those relationships when people can get pretty isolated when times get rough. So I hope you have a chance to spread the word or check out our website. Our website is peoplesrc.org, and our phone number is 630-682-5402. I'll hold up a couple things for the camera so you can see we have service brochures and volunteer opportunities, a whole host of ways to volunteer, whether you're a job coach, whether you're working in our food pantry, helping in the parking lot, sorting clothing, all kinds of things that that people can do, even going on food rescue, which is going to grocery stores to help pick up food that would otherwise be thrown away. We need help with all of those things. So a special invitation to any prospective volunteers or anybody that you might know who's going through a tough time. We would love to help them if we can. We do have an event coming up just up the street in Westmont. This Sunday at 8 a.m. is a race to the flag. So if you're interested in finding out more, proceeds go to People's Resource Center, and there's all kinds of great community events happening at on Sunday morning as well. It's another great way to find out more about us. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. I would be happy to take any questions, and I have some materials if anybody would like some brochures to give out.
You said that's this coming Sunday?
This coming Sunday, May 26th.
Could we get that information and put it on our Direct Connect?
Absolutely. Can I send it to you,
Yeah, just
Brian?
send it right to me.
Excellent. Yes, I'll get that to you.
Is Hank Anzalone still part of
Hank is, yes, he is still the powerhouse in our food pantry. Yes.
A number of years ago, the Lions Club honored him with the Humanitarian of the Year award. You might remember that.
I will make sure that that he knows that you mentioned that.
And while we're at it, Dave Swartz is also a big,
Yes,
contributor here.
absolutely.
He's part of our Rotary Club in Downers Grove, and we've just started doing coat drives at wintertime, and People's Resource Center was a recipient of the coats.
Fabulous. Civic groups and church groups, scouting groups, any kind of groups or individuals. We love to see them as a group working in the food pantry or doing a food drive, diaper drive. A lot of our folks, if you've ever tried to keep kids in diapers, you know it's not inexpensive to do that, and we have a lot of folks who just can't make ends meet without some help.
Any questions?
One question. Jennifer, you and I originally met some months ago when we were talking about the programs, and I know we got the word out on Direct Connect on some of the specific programs, and I forget what that it was called, but the training you were doing near Burr Ridge, Darien, in that area, is that still ongoing?
Periodically. So we do have our job search assistance. It's primarily based out of our main facility in Westmont, and we are trying out some more local and still getting those up and running. But I would encourage anybody who's seeking a job, call our main number, and we can get you connected as locally as possible to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Jennifer, I'll take some brochures if you said you
So put them upstairs, right?
Sure, yeah, whatever.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, that's your stuff.
I have one other item under the mayor's report that's not listed there. I've mentioned to several of you that after we failed to award a Citizen of the Year award this year, I came up with the idea of awarding an award to individuals who provide outstanding service to the Darien community. Came up with a name. It's called the Heart of Darien Award. We have a design for the award. This is everyday people doing extraordinary things. It could be a high school student. It could be one of our first responders. It could be anybody who does something that we feel makes a significant contribution to the city. I'm announcing this to the City Council tonight because I want you to be aware that at our next meeting in June, we'll be giving one of these Heart of Darien Awards out. You will also see money coming out of Brian's contingency fee to pay for that award.
Not my contingency. Let's get that.
Well, I'm just borrowing Dan's.
Well noted, thank you.
Dan's phrase. But it's, I think it's a significant award. I want people to know that the city truly appreciates the effort that citizens make on a day-to-day basis to better their community. So I want residents to know that if you have someone in mind who you think might be worthy of such an award, to email me here at the city to let me know, to give me a brief description of the person's background and their contribution. And we'll make that decision as to whether or not they fall into this category. This is not something we're going to give out every month. We may give it out from time to time, but I will tell you we will give the first one out in June 3rd at our city council meeting. So I wanted the council to be aware of it, and it's called the Heart of Darien Award. And it's a very nice award. It's a crystal heart with the person's name on it, the city logo, their contribution to the city, and the date, and that's what it would entail. And again, I hope it's something that shows the people of Darien that we do care about what they do on a day-to-day basis, and I wanted the council to be aware of it. And if you council members have someone in mind, please let me know. And that concludes my mayor's report.
Joe, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So is this going to be in lieu of Citizen of the Year, or is that committee still going to?
That committee
Revisit
still exists.
process.
This is something, when we did not have a Citizen of the Year this year, if you read some of the responses, people almost felt like you only pick one person out when there are so many people who do so many good things. And while I think that when you look at the individual's career and you give a Citizen of the Year award out, I think they're worthy of that. But at the same time, there are people who do a lot of good things who may not fit all that criteria for the Citizen of the Year award, but they merit some attention from the city or some recognition from the city, and that's why I wanted to do this.
Are you going to promote a description of that, like in Direct Connect or on the city website, so that people understand what the criteria is?
Right.
Or, I mean, what you're looking for? Because, I mean, obviously, could it be a group of people or a team, not just an individual receiving it?
This I want to keep to as an individual.
Okay.
I wanted the council to know this before I put anything out.
Okay.
I wanted the public to know this tonight via our Channel 6, but I will put something out on Direct Connect. Anything else? With that, the city clerk's report.
Just one announcement, Mr. Mayor. Sorry. City offices will be closed on Monday, May 27th, in observance of Memorial Day holiday.
Thank you. City administrator's report.
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Department head information and questions. Greg, I think you have a report for us for April.
I do. It's in front of you, so if you have any questions, I'll answer any of those. Just a follow-up on, we've talked about communications a few different times. We've now gone over the 1,000 mark on people following us on Twitter. And then just Sunday night, last night, about 9 p.m., we had an aggravated robbery at Baskin Robbins. And not to get into a whole lot of legal jargon, but there's robbery, aggravated robbery, and armed robbery. Armed robbery is a person is armed. Aggravated robbery is a theft from a person when the perpetrator states they are armed, and we can't prove that they are or not. Regardless, the perpetrator was posted on Twitter and Facebook and our Direct Connect. I think the image is very good, and hopefully we'll be able to identify him with our citizens and everybody else looking at that image. Right now, I have no additional information for the council on that aggravated robbery.
Thank you. Any questions for the chief? Deanne, any updates for us for municipal services?
Only update I have right now is that construction has been delayed from rear yard drainage projects to curb and gutter to some paving patching. So again, we're trying to get back on schedule, and we do know we're concentrating on the east side of town, especially for the 4th of July parade. So again, residents, be patient out there with us. We're also going to start working some Saturdays to try to catch up here.
Dan, when you talk 71st Street, you're not replacing all of the curb and gutter, are you?
Not all of it. There is a good amount of curb and gutter that's being removed and replaced, but it's not the entire street, if you want to say.
Okay.
And Clarendon Hills Road is also part of the program this year as well.
Dan, I know during the polar vortex, some piping came up on Sweetbriar and Darien Club. Signs are still up for sure. Bump. Any idea of when we're going to be able to take those signs down, or correct that issue? Or?
We're hoping, the pipe is in good shape, so I can tell you that. Second of all is that we're kind of taking a little, not on so much a wait and see approach. We're trying to see how much of the pavement is actually going to go back into place. With that said, it will be a limited patch. And again, when the paver's coming back in town, we'll make sure that we target them over there for the optimal patch and not making a patch bigger than it really needs to be.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Klistad.
Thanks, Mayor. Quick question for Chief Thomas. I missed you were looking the other way. On the report, what's the difference between a beat 123 versus a shift 123? I assume those are the same,
A
but
beat is a physical location, a shift is a time of day.
okay. So when you're saying, I guess a beat, you mean the police officer went out. So this is the first page, citizens generated events. So a beat is like the police officer went out to that event versus during his normal shift, or how, I guess, clarify that.
Beat is a physical location, so the city is, I'm not even sure how physically large it is,
Okay.
but it's broken into 3 different beats. So an officer is assigned to a beat to patrol that beat.
Gotcha.
Shift is time of day, 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. And so those are independent of each other.
So beat would be like Ward 1, 2, or 3. Gotcha.
It wouldn't be a ward, it would be our
But
physical
divided by 3.
district. They don't
Okay.
coincide with a ward,
Okay.
but similar in concept.
Concept. Okay. That's all I had.
Any other questions for the chief or for Dan? If none, then the treasurer's report. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 181926 in the amount of $622,509.13 from the listed funds.
Motion to approve, Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Kenny. Questions? If none, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
We have a second warrant.
Next warrant for the current fiscal year, warrant number 192002, requesting council's approval of $356,883.03 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended May 9th in the amount of $302,756.81 for a total to be approved of $659,639.84.
Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, again seconded by Alderman Kenny. Questions or comments? None, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
I believe Treasurer Corn has an update for us on the police pension fund. Michael?
Yes, Mayor. One thing I neglected to mention on our work session, ordinarily we do get the monthly revenue and expenditure report at the second meeting, but since April 30th is our fiscal year end and the audit's in process, we're finalizing those numbers, so there isn't that report. It'll be replaced by the audit report as soon as the auditors get the final numbers to us. So just wanted to apprise the council of that. That being said, we did have the quarterly meeting after the first quarter results for the police pension fund for the period of January 1st through March 31st, last Thursday in the police training room. The good news is it was a very good quarter for investments. As you might be aware, we have approximately $27 million in the police pension fund, split almost equally between 2 different money managers. Their performance was very, very right on. For the quarter, the one manager had an 8.38% return, the other an 8.39% return, which is outstanding considering we're looking for a 7% annual return. However, last year was not so good. So through December 31st last year, we were basically flat for the first 9 months of the year. So we were at 0. So this 8% really brings us up for the year at about a 4.31% and a 4.27% return, which is short of our 7% anticipated return that we're looking for. April also was a pretty good month, so we're hoping to make up a little bit of that. So I'm anticipating we'll probably end the year with maybe about a 5%, hopefully a little bit more than that, get us a little closer to our 7% bogey that we're looking for. But if anybody has any questions on it or wants further detail, feel free to let me know.
Mike, I think it would be nice if you'd tell the public what we've been trying to do since you've been treasurer in terms of funding our police pension fund.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Since I've been treasurer, I've been insistent, everyone's hearing that across the state how pension funds are not fully funded. Well, I've got to acknowledge the city council here too. They've all gone along with me. We have been funding. Every year an actuary is hired to determine what's necessary to fund the pension plan to get it to 100% funding, which is required by the state by the year 2040. Every year the council has agreed with me, and we've been funding it at the 100% of whatever the actuary says for that year. That being said, we're only about 61% funded currently, even though we have been aggressively funding it, because a lot of things change, actuarial assumptions, investment rates of return vary, but the council has been very good at funding at 100%. We're only required by state law to fund it at 90%, so we do have that extra 10% flexibility, but we have been funding it at the 100%, so hopefully if we keep going down this path, another 11 years we'll be fully funded.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike? If none, then standing committee reports. Any of the chairmen have any information? Alderman Sullivan.
The Admin Finance Committee will be having its next meeting on Monday, June 3rd at 6 p.m. in the upstairs meeting room.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I've got two here. Police committee meeting was canceled this evening to lack of a quorum. We are going to re-meet next Tuesday, May 28th at 6 p.m. across the street in the police training room. And municipal services meeting will be May 28th here in City Hall at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Alderman Kenny. Questions and comments, agenda related. Do any of the aldermen have any questions for anything on the agenda under new business? If none, does anyone in the audience have any questions regarding our one lone item under new business? If none, then we go to old business. There being none, we go to consent agenda. There is no consent agenda tonight. Under new business, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution accepting a 5-foot storm sewer easement fronting Elm Street from the following property, 7318 Sunrise Avenue. Motion to approve. Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Shower. Discussion. No discussion. The roll.
Kenny?
Aye.
Shower?
Aye.
Sullivan?
Aye.
Clistic?
Aye.
Gustafson?
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
Motion passes. Questions, comments, and announcements, again, a general nature. I'll start this out by saying I want to congratulate the Darien Chamber of Commerce for the Darien Dash that took place yesterday. As many of you know, the weather was threatening most of the day, but we had a good turnout, and it really worked out to be a nice day, and that coupled with the pancake breakfast that took place at the Swim Racket Club was very, very nice. In addition to that, I had an opportunity last week to visit Sunny Patch Farm. For those of you who don't know, Sunny Patch Farm is a food program that is put together by a woman by the name of Cynthia McGann. She's a Darien resident. Cynthia has worked on this for a number of years. She's also into food rescue. If you go down, I believe it's Park, which is the street alongside Eisenhower Junior High, the old tennis court is now the Sunny Patch Farm. If you go behind the Safety Village, you'll see their greenhouse over there as well, where they do their seedlings. Cynthia told me when I visited that they rescue something like 1,000 pounds of fresh fruit and vegetables a week, and that they donate 300 to 400 pounds of that just to Eisenhower Junior High, where the school nurse actually bags the apples and the oranges and they send them home with the kids. So this woman in this program, they do a lot, but they need volunteers. They need people to come over and volunteer their time to man the farm. They need people to volunteer to help them do their food rescue. We have several new aldermen who are here since the last time Cynthia came to us. She will be at our June 3rd meeting, and she'll give us a better preview of what Sunny Patch is all about. But I'd like you to all really take a look at that farm if you get a chance. Anyone have anything else?
I have had the pleasure to, and they likewise have planting beds over at Our Lady of Mount Carmel for their food pantry. So her net has been spread wide, and it's an amazing program.
In fact, for those in the audience, when you exit City Hall tonight, she was just here today, and she just redid the planter right outside the door at the by the stairs. She was here today, setting all the plants in there. But it is a wonderful, wonderful program. Anything else? Anyone from the audience? If nothing further, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
How's it go like this? Oh, she should do that, right? That's how it went?
Moved by Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Schauer. All in favor?
I forgot she's not here anymore.
Motions, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
I looked at.